Hello everybody. So today I'm going to share with you one of the sort of big things that I learned in the market last week, and I learned this while I was having a discussion with one of the other traders, one of the more senior traders downstairs, and we were talking about the markets, and then he quite simply said to me that sort of on reflection, the biggest piece of information in the markets this week was the uncertainty. And I thought that was actually quite profound and quite simple, and something that I hadn't really thought of. Like, I hadn't thought of uncertainty as information. You know, if you're going to write down one of the key features that you see in the market this week, I've never written that down, but the fact that, well, I could actually means quite a lot. So let me break this down for you a little bit so that you understand why this is important. So it's important because when you could write that on a piece of paper, it's generally the type of week where you can see lots of trades, yet it's a week where a lot of those trades don't work out, i.e. you've got a really low success rate. This is important because you ideally want to not trade in these circumstances, because by trading you'll obviously, well, you're more likely to end up with a negative P&L, whereas maybe sitting out you end up with more like a flat P&L, and sometimes that's your best opportunity. What's really important then next is, okay, well, how do I sort of spot these weeks? So a bit of what I'm going to talk about next is about, you know, like profiles and things like that, and I learned a lot of those techniques at the Axia courses. So if you're interested in increasing your learning in the market, your understanding, then go and check out elitetraderworkshop.com. Okay, so now we're going to look at sort of how to spot the week. So with uncertainty being a piece of information, I was really saying that in the context of how it made me feel. So by talking about like uncertainty, you know, you create all these scenarios or trade ideas, yet the market makes you question them all the time. You're sitting there going, is this trade idea valid now? Oh, maybe it is, maybe it's not, coming up with a new one. And so that's kind of where that uncertainty comes from. Now, if we were to rephrase it in terms of like maybe the market structure and things like that, then I suppose you could say that the uncertainty and how you're feeling could also be called low participation in terms of the market. And so what does that look like? Now, I mentioned profiles before, so let's turn the camera around and I'll show you an example. Okay, so here are my bun profiles from last week, and you can see here this is like quite a critical level. It was also a really big yield level. The market has bid up, like look how poor the shape of this profile is. We've got a poor high, this tail here with no volume in it, and then this really sort of poor bounce the next day. Again, really poor structure. We've got really poor low down here, 2 TPOs, and then sort of no excess here, no excess here. So yeah, so obviously that poor structure is a really critical clue. The other really obvious clue is the fact that the volumes are really low. And so, you know, in this environment, you can see, you know, the market often forms like little structures in the smaller time frames. You can go, oh, there's a really poor low, there's a really poor high, but that poor structure's everywhere, and it's so easy just to then create trades all the time. And so when you get in that situation, sort of that's the two ways you can see it, that within yourself as uncertainty or within the market as in low participation. So yeah, I thought that was a really interesting thing, because, you know, if you can come out of a week like that with a flat P&L, that can be a really great result. You know, it's better than taking a big loser.